Swadee Krupp and welcome to the Thaiger as we do another Thailand News Today here in our Phuket office where we're working to get our brand new studio ready. This is the sort of great big empty room we have at the moment, putting the carpet tiles down, starting to get the equipment all worked out. We'll be painting the wall a little bit later, and we'd like to introduce you to one of our new staff members. This is Jay, and he's going to be working with the Thaiger on our new program every day. You might even see him pop up on camera from time to time. Anyway, that's what we're doing here. In the meantime, we better get stuck into today's news. Oh, before we do, big shout out to Edward K. Thank you very much for being a Thaiger member. We do appreciate it. And for everybody else, just press that subscription button. Let's get started with today's news. The Public Health Ministry has announced 32 new COVID-related deaths, and wait for it, 4,887 new infections from the past 24 hours. Now, to clarify, 2,835 of the new cases are from two of Bangkok's largest prisons. But even with the new prison infections subtracted from the total, Thailand has added over 2,000 new cases for the Thursday tally. In another major blow to Thailand's worst bout of COVID-19, nearly 3,000 inmates from the Bangkok Remand Prison and the Central Women's Correctional Institution, two of the largest prisons in the capital, have released a list of inmates infected with COVID. It all came to light when one of the anti-government protesters, Rung, made the revelation when she'd been released on bail on her Facebook page, saying that she'd contracted the virus whilst in custody. She declared that many inmates have infections, which forced the corrections minister to come clean with the full situation. Meanwhile, after an outbreak of 112 infections at a Narathiwat prison in southern Thailand, that's also forced the corrections minister to cancel all prison visits from tomorrow until June the 5th. Human rights activists are calling on the Thai government to reduce unnecessary detention to prevent the spread of COVID-19 at prisons. Amnesty International Thailand addressed an open letter to the Justice Ministry and says the move to stop placing suspects in court detention whilst they await trial will help ease congestion in the prisons and prevent the spread of the virus. Following last Sunday night's charging of foreigners in Phuket for holding a home, party, the Phuket Provincial Office has posted an additional restriction to clarify any apparent misunderstandings about the laws at this time. It says participating in eating or drinking of alcohol in the family home or in any other place of residence must not be attended by outsiders. In addition, gathering together or the organising of any other activities is prohibited. If the person who violates or commits this offence is a foreigner, the permission to remain living in Thailand under the Immigration Act could be revoked. So there you go. If there was any doubt before, there shouldn't be now. The Thai Airlines Association, nothing to do with Thai Airways, says 7 member airlines are pushing for a meeting with PM Prayut Chan-o-cha to discuss the option of soft loans. Again, the carriers have been seeking this financial aid for some time and have even decreased the amount being asked for from 24 billion baht last year to 14 billion now. Representatives from Thai Air Asia X, Bangkok Airways, Nok Air, Thai Smile, the budget subsidiary of Thai Airways, Thai Lion Air and Thai Vietjet Air want to meet the PM to discuss what progress, if any, has been made on the matter. The TAA says the loans would give the carriers some much-needed breathing space as Thailand wades through this latest wave of COVID infections. In the meantime, domestic airlines have drastically cut services and even stopped flying to some destinations for now. Under new measures for Thai cabinet sessions, members of parliament who have not been vaccinated against COVID-19 will have to test negative for the coronavirus before each new meeting. The Parliament President Chuan Likpai says the new orders are to prevent the further spread of COVID among cabinet members, more than the spread of the virus through the Thai cabinet from partying MPs at the start of April. Mr. Chuan says if an MP has not been vaccinated and does not show a negative result for a recent COVID-19 test, then they will not be allowed to enter the chamber. The next parliamentary session is scheduled for May 22. A hospital in the northern province of Chiang Mai has reported a new cluster of COVID-19 after 3 patients lied about being infected. The Central Chiang Mai Memorial Hospital has 7 new cases of the virus after the patients concealed the fact that they'd been infected and subsequently passed it on to 7 healthcare workers, as well as putting another 56 people at risk. The hospital director says that the hospital is cooperating with the Chiang Mai Provincial Public Health Office on the disease investigation and is asking anyone who considers themselves at risk to take a COVID-19 test as soon as possible. The hospital will remain closed until May 22, with emergency cases and chronically ill patients being treated in the parking area behind the main building, we assume in a nice big comfortable tent. The pro-democracy activist, also known as Penguin, who was charged with violating Section 112 of Thailand's Criminal Code, also known as the Lese Majeste, has penned his first letter after being released on bail. He calls it the Letter of Freedom and says there are more to come. He published the letter one day after being released on bail. He's also announced the end to his hunger strike, which lasted for 57 days. Part of the letter reads, "I believe the court is political and the court must examine whether it stands for justice. In any case, there is now a legal precedent on the right to bail in Article 112 cases. In the past, bail was never granted. Also, I believe this barbaric law should be abolished soon." He also reiterated in simple but polite language his case for the powers of the Thai monarchy to be constrained under a new Thai constitution. It was signed off, "Death to feudalism, long live the people." And with that, we say thank you very much for watching, and thank you for coming to our Phuket office. I'm about to roll my sleeves up and get the paintbrush out as we try and get our studio ready for next week. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe to the channel. In fact, I think it's down there, or it might be down there. There's a little tiger head. Click on that and click the subscribe button. That really helps us out and does your little bit if you're not in a position to become a Thaiger member, which is fine. In the meantime, thank you for watching today, and we'll be back with another Thailand News Today with Jet tomorrow.